Welcome to the Duck Pyramid, where I rate my pet ducks from worst to best based on their behaviors the last week. At the bottom of our pyramid this week, we have Bubbles. A little unexpected for Bubbles to be at the very bottom, but unfortunately her behavior this week was absolutely awful. Not only was she constantly trying to go underneath the shed when we would put her to bed, but she also wouldn't allow me to catch her before bed so that I could prevent her from going under the shed in the first place. And when she did get into bed, she would constantly try and escape with the other ducks while the rest of them were still walking up into bed. So, Bubbles, you are really going to have to work on that, and I'm probably going to end up putting a new fence underneath the shed so you can't go under there, but that might take some time. So if you could just stop doing that, that would be great. And up next, we have Maple. Unfortunately, you probably could have expected this one, but Maple's behavior during mating season has not improved at all this past week. He's actually been quite awful, and even when I had Sugar in the pond by herself in the morning, because I usually just let her swim so she can hang out alone and not be bothered by anybody, I left the door to the pen open a crack just in case she wanted to come out and eat some grass, and instead, Maple actually pushed the door open through the crack and went in and tried to mate with her. So, as you can see, he deserves to be here. And next up, we have Mr. Whip. And this one makes me kind of sad because I had so much hope for him this mating season. He was not acting on his hormones like he had in past years, but unfortunately, as most male ducks do during mating season, he has started to become a little more aggressive than I would like to see, and I am starting to have to keep even him away from Sugar, even though he was previously being quite nice to her. And up next, we have Donut. Donut landed herself here this week because last night, not only was she being absolutely awful and not wanting to go into bed, but when I did get her into bed, I still had to get Mr. Whip and Sugar into bed because usually they stay on the other side of the yard. So I got the majority of the ducks in, I left the door open a crack so I could get Sugar and Mr. Whip to fly in. I was going to get them. Donut says, I'm not going to listen to you, I'm going out. So she led the escape out the door, and about half the ducks got out, and then they were going under the shed with Bubbles, and it was a mess. I don't really want to do that again. And up next, we have Avocado Toast. Now, for the most part, Avocado Toast behavior was quite good this week. However, last night, after Donut and Toast and a couple of the other ducks had already escaped the shed and been put back in the shed, I was cleaning their food bowl so I could fill it and get them new food, and Duck Dad was giving them fresh water. He opened the door to the shed, and Avocado Toast just tried to run right through his feet and get out, which is quite bad behavior, and that is how she landed here. Chip, you're so cute. Chip is drinking out of his water bowl, and it's just so cute. I love watching hamsters do stuff because they're so small and all their stuff is so small and it's just so cute. Next up, we have Raven. There's really not much to report on Raven. She was just a pretty average duck this week. She laid a couple pretty black eggs, but that's really all I gotta say for her. And up next, we have Sugar. So Sugar laid a really tiny, cute little fairy egg this week, which is just like a tiny, tiny little egg. And I just think that they're so cute. They're kind of like a glitch in the duck system, and sometimes they happen, and it was adorable, okay? I loved it. But Sugar also just has such an attitude problem. I try so hard to give her time away from the other ducks, to let her be in her sugar shack, but sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, maybe she doesn't want to be in the sugar shack. Maybe I'll put the boys in the sugar shack today, and I'll let Sugar hang out with the girls and swim in the pond for a bit. But then she's just ungrateful and hides in the doghouse anyway, so I'm like, can you please just try to enjoy your life that I give you? Maybe just a little? I don't know. And up next, we have Cassie. It was nail trimming week for the birds in our household, and Cassie did an exceptionally good job. Oftentimes when I go to trim the birds' nails, they clench their claws, and then I have to pull their toes up and clip each one, and it's just really annoying because I feel like I don't want to hurt them, obviously. And they just kind of freak out because obviously it's annoying, Anyways, Cassie did a really good job. She just kind of held her foot out and was chill with the whole process. And I was like, that is so good. You were such a good girl. Thank you. Up next, we have Chip. I am very excited to let you all know that Chip has officially turned 3 years old. Please feel free to wish Chip a very happy birthday in the comments. 3 is a long life for a hamster. I am so happy that he has lived this long, and hopefully he lives an even longer, happier, healthy life. I saw him the other day, and his cheeks were so full of food. And I have never, ever seen his cheeks this stuffed with food. I've probably only seen him actually have food in his cheeks maybe like twice. And maybe it's just because he's a dwarf hamster, but usually when they like stuff their cheeks, you can't totally tell. You can just kind of see the like indents of the seeds in there. Whereas I think the larger hamsters, you can kind of see like they actually have like cheek balls like out on the side like this. But the other day he had cheek balls out on the sides like this, and I was like, I've never seen him do it before, and it was so cute. Like, oh, I love him. He's adorable. I'm so glad he turned 3 years old, and I hope he's having a great day. And you actually might have heard him in the background of this video because, fun fact, Chip's cage actually goes like right here in front of the duck pyramid, so when I film it I have to move it, and I may have woken him up and he's been like walking around, so you might have heard hamster noises in the back. Chip, if you can hear this, congratulations, you were almost at the top this week. And at the top of our pyramid, we have Munchkin. Now, Munchkin truly earned it this week. First of all, Munchkin was actually invited to the governor's residence in our state where we got to learn about their beehives and a little bit more about the environment right here in our home state, which was really fun. Munchkin hasn't been in a crowd of people that big in quite some time, so I was really proud of her for how she handled it. She loves letting people pet her and hold her and say hi, and she just did an absolutely great job. And one of my favorite parts about this event is while I was talking with the First Lady of Pennsylvania, someone had asked if Munchkin was a call duck, and before I could even answer that question, Munchkin started quacking just the way that call ducks do, and it was hysterical and I loved it. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping she was gonna do another call duck quack while we were listening to the speeches because I just thought it would be kind of funny, but it was probably a good thing that she didn't interrupt, so good job for that, Munchkin. And secondly, we actually got to do a fun little meet and greet at Misericordia University, so a bunch of college students got to come and meet Munchkin. She was obviously very happy with that. One girl had homemade rings and Munchkin kept trying to steal them from her, which is a typical Munchkin thing because she loves shiny things, but everybody just thought that was adorable, and I think it's adorable too. So Munchkin had a really great time. I had a really great time. Somebody actually was there making like balloon animals and stuff, and they made a balloon version of Munchkin, which was absolutely adorable. Munchkin got a Starbucks. The only bad thing she did was she did try to take my pink drink when she had her own strawberry ice water, but other than that, Munchkin did an absolutely quacktastic job this week. She had a lot on her plate. You know, being a famous duck isn't easy, but she takes it with grace, and I'm so grateful to have an amazing duck like her. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the Duck Pyramid. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a quacktastic weekend.